As a court, please, my lord, my learned friend has just indicated that he wants to raise an objection. I don't know what the nature of the objection is. How can Gomez work?
My lord, it relates to the second alibi. To the second alibi that the state is, the witness is referring to.
Yeah.
Is the evidence that has been had in the main trial. I don't see the reason why it is introduced to the trial within the trial.
Well, my lord, the witness linked this to the defenses that were proffered by the accused, that after all the defenses had basically fallen flat, he then decided to make a clean breast of everything, my lord. We submit that evidence is admissible, as it shows that after the accused had realized that all his defenses have fallen flat, he decided to come clean.
Wasn't it raised by the accused himself, not defense?
Yes. Indeed, that's what the witness said.
That's what I understand, Mr. Mngomezulu, that it was raised by the accused person himself after having proffered the first defense, which was an alibi, which, according to this witness, proved unsustainable. And thereafter, according to Brigadier Ginanda, I think it's Mr. Ramosepidi, then proffered a second alternative to say they can check the defense which is proffered by the accused, when he says that on that very day, on the 26th, he was in Nongoma and he transacted a Capitec account. I think it's admissible.
I was under the impression that evidence was led in the main trial.
No.
Before
this witness was not in the main trial.
Yes.
Okay.
And yes, my lord, I remember he was not in the main trial.
Yeah, quite.
But the evidence that was put in a form of a version was in the main trial.
Yes, quite.
Yes.
Quite.
But since we started with the trial within the trial, nothing has been said on all the state witnesses relating to the second alibi of accused number.
No, you're right.
Yes.
It's the brigadier who's mentioning it, and he mentions it in the process of, I don't know, the state trying to show that that alibi, the first and the second alibis, were not sustainable. We can argue that.
Yes.
You're still entitled to argue. Okay, but at this stage, I think it is admissible.
Court, please.
Okay.
That's a good piece, my lord. You referred to the entries from Primrose Police Station, which served as Exhibit QQ before this court. Do you have the original entry there?
That is correct, my lord. I do have the original OP, and I did refer to those entries, my lord.
Yes.
Thank you. Then you also referred to the flocking records of the accused, which served as Exhibit DD in the main trial, as well as the leave of absence of accused number 2. Just want to show you Exhibit DD. Or Exhibit DD in the main trial.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you just identify Exhibit DD?
Yes, my lord. These are the blocking records in Exhibit DD in relation to accused number 2, as well as his picture is depicted on the front page.
Lena-ke yona imininingwane yakhe umsolo wesibili mayelana-ke nesystem lena yasemsebenzini wakhe la kulokwa khona, futhi-ke nesithombe sakhe sikhona la.
As a court, please, my lord, we don't have Exhibit DD in the trial within a trial. We just request that it retain its status as Exhibit DD in the trial within the trial.
Okay.
Then you also refer to the bank statements of accused number 2 from Capitec Bank. Just want to show you Exhibit DD1 in the main trial. Can you identify Exhibit DD1?
Yes, my lord. Exhibit DD1 contains the bank statements of accused number 2 together with the front page. In other words, before the bank statement starts, it contains his identity document, the old ID card with his picture, ID number, and full names. And that is in relation to accused number 2.
lana ke i-bank statement ke yakhe ngoLwesibini futhi ke lana ke kufakiwe ke necopy ke yayo i-ID yakhe nemininingwane yakhona.
And it relates to the second alibi that was found to be false.
Lokhu kumayelana ke nale nkulumo yakhe yesibili ke la ayasho khona ukuthi wayekuphi batholakala ukuthi qamba manga.
Looking at Exhibit DD1, are there any transactions shown on the day in question?
On the 27th, my lord, there are no transactions. I know because I went through this document.
Ngiyazi ke ngoba ke
27th of October 2014, my lord.
ngiyazi ngoba ngibheke ngayibhekala le document ukuthi ke nge-27 October 2014 akukho la sho khona ukuthi ke la awayokhipha imali khona ke la ashilo yena ukuthi ayikhipha khona.
Thank you. If we can then get back to your evidence, you have just referred to the OB entries from Primrose on the 20th. Is there anything of importance that happened on the 21st?
Yes, my lord. So perhaps on the 20th, yes, I can confirm. Maybe let me start on the 20th, my lord, that he was indeed received, as I alluded in my evidence before, as per this OB now from Primrose. The time is 04:30. That's when he was received from Primrose. At Primrose SAPS from Pukeng, my lord. So that is the first entry at 04:30.
Lana ke ngazo i-20 lezo ke isikhathi ke 04:30 ila amukelwa khona ke police station yase Primrose ebuya ePhukeng.
Then my lord, on the 21st of June 2020 at 22:50 he was then charged, in other words formally charged in preparation of his first appearance in Pukeng court. So he was charged by Sergeant Mohane, and the time was 22:50 with OB reference number 2029.
Lana ke okwesibili ke ukuthi nge-21 zika June 2020 start ke u-22:50 ila khona ke manje eseshajwa khona ke uyena uSergeant Mohane manje ke number yayo ke i-OB i-2029 is-serial number ye-OB.
Yes, and he was charged, my lord, in relation to the Pukeng matter, possession of unlicensed ammunition.
Lana ke amaqala wayewathwesa nomicala awayethwesa yilelo lokutholakala ke neyinhlamvu lasePhukeng.
Then my lord, on the 22nd of June 2020 at 7:15 under entry 2065 he was booked out by Sergeant Mohane for court, in other words to make his first court appearance in Thabang, that is the jurisdiction of Pukeng.
Base kuthi ke ngazo i-22 kuJune 2020 isikhathi ke u-7:15 ila akhishwa khona ke uyena uDetective Sergeant Mohane ukuthi ke ayobingelela ke imantshi eHlabane ke ingaphansi kwayo iPhukeng.
And I can confirm, my lord, that indeed he did appear, because I had an opportunity to see the charge sheet. He did appear and he was remanded into custody for a further date, but he did make his first appearance on the 22nd of June 2020.
Kodwa ngakusho ngesiqiniseko ukuthi ngazo i-22 zikaJune ku-2020 impela-ke wayibingelela-ke imantshi okokuqala khona eThabane ngoba-ke i-charge sheet ngayibheka kusho ukuthi ngakubona lokho.
Just want to show you exhibit RR.
Yes, my lord.
Can you just identify the exhibit?
So, my lord, this is the charge sheet from Tabang, and it's in relation to the Phokeng matter that you refer to for possession of unlicensed ammunition.
Lena-ke yona-ke i-charge sheet engikhuluma ngayo kusho ukuthi ilona-ke le phepha leli-ke umuntu-ke alifundelwayo-ke enkantolo mayivela ukuthi-ke yiliphi noma waphi amacala awathwesayo laseXhabane.
My lord, it indicates the obvious on top the case number, Sergeant Mohane as the investigating officer, the date of arrest, which is 19 June 2020, and the first date, in other words, the first appearance was 22 June 2020, with the accused names and surname written.
Lana-ke imininingwane-ke echazayo ukuthi ubani ophenye icala uSergeant Mohane, ilanga lakhe-ke aboshwa ngalo i-19 zikaJune 2020, bese kuthi-ke ilanga avela ngalo-ke ngokuqala enkantolo noma bingelela imantshi kwangeyi-22 zikaJune 2020 namagama akhe-ke umhlolo.
My lord, I can further confirm that other than this, I do know that on the 22nd, I had to wait for Sergeant Mohane and accused, two in particular, because one, we needed to do the teeth examination, the dental examination with a doctor that side, as we were expecting that he may have a gold teeth incisions. That was the first part. The second one, it was the day when I obtained, as I said, on the 19th I spoke to Mr. Mulder, but the final, the actual disposal of the affidavit was concluded on the 22nd of June 2020.
Okunye ngakusho-ke ngaphandleni nje kwalokhu engiqeda ukusho-ke ngikufunde lana mayelana nazo-ke i-22 lezo-ke ukuthi kwakufanele futhi-ke ayohlangana-ke nodokotela azobheka-ke amazinyo-ke ngoba sasicabanga-ke noma-ke sisola-ke ukuthi-ke wayenalo-ke izinyo legolide. Okunye futhi-ke ngazo lezo i-22 lezo kwakufanele ukuthi-ke uMr. Mulder nanjengoba sasihlangane-ke ngazo i-19 ukuthi aqedeleleke leya affidavit yakhe awayezomnikeza yona.
Yes.
Yes. And if you look on page 4 of exhibit RR, what is the entry there?
Page 4. So it's written, my lord, accused number 1, or defense. It says first, my lord, defense for accused number 1, Mr. Njiako. And then it goes further to mention that it's digitally recorded.
No, sorry. The entry by the magistrate.
The entry by the magistrate.
Yes, the date to which the matter was postponed to on the 22nd.
Is it now on page number 4?
Yes.
So it says request, Mr. Njiako requests postponement to 3 August 2020. In discussion with DPP before apply for bail.
Okubhaliwe-ke lana noma kwabhalwa yiyona-ke imantshi ngalo lelo langa lelo-ke ukuthi-ke nesicelo-ke esenziwa noma umnumzana uMjiyako uyacela-ke ukuthi icala lehlehliswe 3/08/2020 ukuze ukhulumisana-ke nabashushishi noma abengamele ezoshishisa ngaphambilini kokuthi-ke enze isicelo sebail.
Mr. Melody, we just shown the correct entry there by the magistrate.
All right, it says adjourned 29/06/2020, legal aid in custody no bail.
Lana-ke okubhalwe umantshi-ke ukuthi icala sehlishelwa i-29 June 2020 kwabhalwa-ke legal aid uzogcinwa-ke esitokisini akana bail.
And the date of the appearances, my lord, is the 22nd of June 2020.
Futhi ilanga-ke avela ngalo noma abingelela ngalo imantshi i-22 June 2020
in relation to accused number 2.
sikhuluma ngaye-ke umsolo wesibili.
You mentioned that accused number 2 had to undergo dental examination on the 22nd of June 2020?
Yes, that's what I said, my lord.
ngishilo ukuthi ngazo i22 lezo kwakufanele ukuthi ahlanganeke nodokotela wamazinyo.
Have you seen that report?
Yes, I've seen it, my lord. I had sight of it.
Ngubonileke noma ngawubona-ke lowo mbiko loyo.
Just want to show you exhibit VV1. It was actually handed up by the defense.
Yes, my lord, it is the document I'm referring to, and the date here is clearly stated that it was the 22nd of June 2020. That was after the court appearance.
Iwona-ke lo mbiko engikhuluma ngawo lona futhi nedate ibhaliwe la i-22 zika-June 2020 futhi lokhu kwenzeka-ke emuva kokuthi esevelile enkantolo.
You've mentioned that you've had sight of this exhibit. Look on page 2. Even if it was an oral examination, were there any injuries noted?
No, absolutely none, my lord.
Noma-ke lana-ke awayekuyeleke ukuthi-ke noma wayohlangana nodokotela wamazinyo-ke kodwa-ke akukho okubhaliwe ngokuthi mayelana nokuthi-ke wayelimele.
Thank you. Then after the 22nd, what happened further?
Yeah, so what I recall, my lord, he was then, I think, transferred for further detention at Pretoria North SAPS. That is now from the court appearance.
Engicabangayo ukuthi okwenzeka-ke manje ukuthi uma seqedile-ke ukubingelela-ke imantshi noma ukuvela-ke enkantolo wase endluliselwa-ke ePretoria North ukuthi ayogcina khona lapho.
Then, my lord, on the 23rd of June 2020, I received a call from the police station when our accused two was detained, where I was informed there's an attorney who wants to consult with him, and they wanted to check if they should allow such a person.
Kwase kuthi ngazo i-23 ngathola-ke ucingo-ke elubuya epolice station leyo-ke awayekuyona umsolo wesibili. Ngitshela-ke ukuthi kwakunommeli owayefisa ukuthi akhulume naye-ke babefuna nje ukwenza-ke isiqiniseko sokuthi-ke bangamvumela yini ukuthi akhulume naye.
I advised them, my lord, to allow this person to consult with accused number 2, and that I will be making my way just to confirm the status of this individual, my lord.
Ngase ngithi kubona-ke abamvumeleke loyo muntu loyo ukuthi akhulumeke naye umsolo wesibili. Mina-ke ngizoza-ke ngizoqinisekisa nje ukuthi-ke ubani loyo muntu loyo.
Just a minute. Do you remember as to from whom this call emanated?
No, I don't remember, but it was members that were in charge of the cells, where the reporting for consultation will normally be arranged. And this request, my lord, was not unusual in light of the fact that we're under COVID lockdown, so there were restrictions in terms of visits. So, I said, look, they must make an exception because it is a legal visit.
Lana-ke angisakhumbula ukuthi babubani-ke owafoni kodwa ilabo-ke abaphetheke kumaseli ngoba-ke kufanele ukuthi benze kanje ila khona-ke umuntu uma eyokhonsatha akhulumisana khona nabantu futhi lokhu kwangasiyona-ke into engabambisekile-ke ngoba-ke sasingaphansi kwayo-ke i-lockdown ye-COVID. Manje-ke umuntu uma ezobona-ke ngase ngivuma-ke ukuthi cha abamdedeleke ukuthi ambone ngoba-ke kwakuwummeli.
Yes.
My lord, I arrived there, I think it would have been after an hour or 1.5 hours because I was far from Pretoria North, and I found accused 2 with a gentleman who identified himself as Mr. Mjiako, Togozo Mjiako, as his attorney.
Ngafika-ke lapho ngathi nje emuva nje kwehora noma ihora-ke elinesigaba ngoba ngangikude-ke ePretoria North. Uma ngifika khona lapho ngathola-ke yena-ke umsolo wesibili ekanye-ke nalo mlisa owayichaza nanjengoNtokozo Mjiako.
Accused 2 confirmed that this was his attorney, my lord.
Waqinisekisa-ke umsolo wesibili ukuthi kwakuwummeli wakhe loyo.
Just a minute. Now, what time did you arrive at the police station?
It would have been around midday, early afternoon, my lord.
Ngathi nje baselishayileke ihora leshumi nambili uma sengifika khona lapho kule police station.
And where did you find accused number 2 and Mr. Mjiyako?
In the holding cells, my lord.
Ngabathola khona-ke ama-cells umsolo wesibili kanye naye uMjiyako.
Where in the holding cells?
There is a space where normally, my lord, they will take fingerprints or legal practitioners will sit and consult with clients. So, but it's part of the holding cells.
Ikhona indawo la khona-ke bathatha khona-ke ama-fingerprints noma la abameli bazohlala khona-ke bakhulumisane-ke nalabo ababamele kodwa-ke kuyingxenye yama-cells.
Yes. Can you perhaps give more background? What happened? What was the first thing that you discussed with the two parties?
So the first thing was obviously to identify myself, my lord, to the council. But as I was coming, accused two knew me, so he also stood up and said, "This is my attorney." And then the gentleman also then confirmed that he is in the form of identification, Mr. Mjiyako, and he's got instruction to represent accused number 2.
Okwenzeka-ke lapho kokuqala kwakuwukuthi-ke mina-ke ngizethuleke kubona kodwa ngathi nje ngiseza-ke wabe esesukuma-ke umsolo wesibili washo-ke ukuthi lona-ke ummeli wami naye-ke eseyichaza-ke ukuthi-ke uMjiyako.
And Mr. Mjiyako, did he say that in the presence of accused number 2?
Yes, my lord. These discussions took place, and it was the three of us, basically.
Ukuthi uMjiyako futhi-ke uthola ama-instructions ukuthi-ke ameleke umsolo wesibili futhi lokho kwenzeka-ke ekhona umsolo wesibili ngoba-ke sasindawonye sobathathu.
And what was accused number 2's reaction when Mr. Mjiyako said he has instructions to appear for him?
No, he acknowledged. In fact, at that stage, my lord, accused number 2 already indicated to me that this is my attorney. So Mr. Mjiyako's assertion or statement of saying I have instructions to represent accused 2 came after accused 2 said this is my attorney.
uMjiyako yena ungathi nje wayesenikeza isiqinisekiso kulo ngoba-ke umuntu owaqala washo kwakuwumsolo wesibili owasho wathi-ke lona-ke uMjiyako owummeli wami. Uma ngabe uMjiyako eseyichaza-ke yena-ke ubesenikeza manje isiqinisekiso kuloko osokushiwo umsolo wesibili.
Yes.
My lord, I then asked him to
Just remember to mention the parties, there are 2 persons involved. You say him, who are you referring to?
I'm referring to Mr. Mjiyako. So I then asked him, my lord, to give me some form of identification to confirm if indeed, with greatest respect, if he's an attorney, because it was the first time I came face to face with him, and I've already identified myself by showing my appointment certificate, so I asked him to provide with some proof of such.
Ngamcela-ke uMr Mjiyako-ke ukuthi-ke angibonise noma ngikhombiseke into engaba ubufakazi-ke bokuthi impela-ke ngingakusho-ke lokho ngokuthi ngingamhloniphike ukuthi angitshengiseke ukuthi ngempela-ke wayewuyena ummeli ngoba mina-ke ngangisengimtshengisileke elami ikhadi ukuthi ngiyiphoyisa.
My lord,
just a minute. Yes, you may proceed.
My lord, he produced 2 things. The first one was his South African ID, which had his picture as well as full names as well as the ID number. Then he produced a copy of a document from LPC, which confirmed that he was an attorney, my lord. And it was dated, if I recall correctly, the 5th of May 2020.
Zimbili-ke into angitshengisa zona-ke nanjengobufakazi-ke okokuqala wangibonisa umazisi wakhe-ke unesithombe sakhe, igama lakhe, isibongo sakhe, i-ID number yakhe. Kwase kwesibili-ke utshengisa-ke ikhophi ebuya-ke LPC eyayisho-ke ukuthi uyena ummeli. Uma ngaphazamike i-date yakhona kwakuyi-5 May 2020.
Right. May I request, my lord, that this evidence be provisionally admitted to the court on condition that Mr. Mjiyako be called to confirm the context thereof. My lord, the reason why...
No. I'm just thinking about your submission.
Yes, ma'am. The reason being that there are a number of places and evidence that has been tendered before this court where the name of Mr. Mjiyako has been mentioned. And this kind of evidence needs to be confirmed, especially during the trial. Within the trial, I was also informed of the letter that was attached on the charge sheet in Boxburg, which was written, or a letter coming from the office of Mr. Mjiyako. And the authentic nature of the document could not be admitted in court unless, in terms of the best evidence rule, the author must come and confirm the contents thereof. In this case, the same letter, another letter is brought in. We don't dispute the fact that he's an attorney.
Who doesn't dispute it?
We don't dispute that.
Who doesn't? I'll tell you why. I've got this problem. Other counsels can mention if I'm incorrect. It wasn't pertinently denied that Mr. Mjiyako is an attorney.
Yes.
The evidence went surreptitiously and casually in this form. There was a gentleman in a suit.
Yes.
Who was standing next to the passage.
That's correct.
And the impression created in this court is that number 2 did not have an attorney that day.
That's correct.
That's it. Now we've got a problem. If you say it's not being denied, it was denied then.
Yes.
The circumstantial evidence was a complete denial that number 2 never was represented by an attorney, either inside with Mrs. Konje,
Yes.
or that he had given that attorney Mjiyako a mandate.
Yes.
Now, if you are now saying this court must admit that evidence on the basis that it is not denied, are you with me?
Now, may I just put it so that we are on the same page with the court?
Yeah.
What has been said about Mr. Mjiyako on the 24th in Boxburg Court has been vehemently denied by the defense.
Yes.
Number 2, the letter was tendered in court in support of the notice of withdrawal as attorney of record in the absence of the attorney, confirming that they are there to terminate the mandate. And Mr. Mjiyako at that time was not present in court. Thirdly, my Lord, another letter or a proof that he was an attorney, as it has been submitted that we have not disputed that Mr. Mjiyako is an attorney or an advocate.
Is it disputed that he represented accused number 2?
That is in dispute, my Lord.
In this thing? Inside room
2, my Lord.
Yeah, where Mrs. Konje was presiding.
That's correct.
It's disputed.
That is disputed.
Let's hear Mr. Baloyi. Mr. Baloyi.
To start with, my Lord, my learned friend refers to a letter which he says we've tendered as proof of the fact that Mr. Mjiyako withdrew from record. That letter forms part of the proceedings. It forms part of the record. So no, in Boxburg. So it was handed up in terms of section 235. So it's not a standalone document that was handed up. It forms part of the exhibit. And secondly, regarding his qualification that the letter that the state is about to introduce be provisionally admitted on condition that Mr. Mjiyako be called as a witness, well, we submit that in light of the fact that the discussions took place in the presence of the accused, that will not be necessary, my Lord, to call Mr. Mjiyako. But we'll cross that bridge when you get there. I've submitted a letter from the LPC to my learned friends as part of the admissions, which we'll deal with in due course. For present purposes, my Lord, we submit that the discussion which took place in the presence of the accused, as well as the document which the state is about to introduce, are admissible, my Lord.
Okay. Mr. Mgomezi, you can argue that matter.
My Lord,
You can argue that exigency. You can't compel the state to call a witness. You can call that witness. You can call Mr. Mjako to come and say whatever.
but the crux, my Lord, of the issue is the state at its disposal cannot use documents which such a witness cannot be called.
No, that's not correct.
My Lord,
The evidence of Brigadier Gelinda is that in the presence of accused number 2, Mr. Mjako introduced himself as an attorney or legal representative, which exigency was confirmed by accused number 2. There were 3. So that evidence is admissible. Number 2, here's number 2. Here's the gentleman here. And he is proffering evidence that Mjako introduced himself as representing accused number 2. I don't think you can argue that it's not admissible, this evidence.
but the issue that I'm concerned about, my
The
Lord,
qualifications.
the
Where is the
admission
royal-
by accused number 2, he considered that the person that he was in the cells, that would still be in
They never considered in this
never
court.
considered.
Not in this court.
Yes.
But
I
that's
mean,
why you're going to
just
argue that exigency that, I don't know, that
It
evidence
is
is
put
not...
by this witness that Mr. Mjako was present. That will still be denied by accused number 2. That
No, fine, no problem.
accused number. That's why we are calling for accused for Ntokozo Mjako to come and confirm whatever that is there. The last
Wait.
part of my argument, my
Okay.
Lord, before I can on the charge sheet, when a reference is made to section 235 of the records of the court, I was not convinced on that report to say the magistrate has made an entry to the effect that the letter so attached corresponds with the notice of intention to withdraw as attendant of record, unless such entry is expressly said before this honorable court.
Fine, but the onus is on the state to prove whatever allegations the state proffers. And you have the right to rebut, contradict, countervail, and deny, and dispute, as you say. But the onus is on the state. But you see, Mr. Balui says, in his view, he doesn't think the state should call Mjako. Okay. Right, sir?
You may proceed.
Yes, my lord. So he then gave me, my lord, so those 2 things. So I could confirm that in the letter, his ID number, South African Identity Document number, was reflected there. I took the document and I left him to say he can carry on with his consultation while I was making inquiries through our agencies to confirm the authenticity of him being an attorney. Such was confirmed to me, my lord.
okwenzeka-ke manje-ke nanjengoba sengishilo ukuthi uMjako unginikile-ke lokubili-ke kwakuyi-ID yakhe-ke kanye naleli phepha-ke elibuya kwi-LPC eshoyo-ke ukuthi uwummeli ngase ngimshiya-ke ukuthi aqhubekeke naye-ke umsolo wesibili-ke mina ngathatha-ke idocument lena-ke ukuthi-ke ngenze-ke ngixhumaneke nabathize ukwenza-ke isiqinisekiso sokuthi ngempela lo muntu-ke uyena ummeli nanjengoba esho nanjengoba futhi naleli phepha lisho-ke ngakuthola-ke ukuthi ngempela-ke kwakuyena ummeli.
You say you look at his ID, which had his picture and names. What were the names on the identity document?
I know Dominic, if I recall, my lord, Dominic Ntokozo Mjako, as well as the South African ID number, the 13-digit number.
Engikukhumbulayo-ke kumagama akhe-ke ngikhumbula uDominic Ntokozo Mjako kanye futhi nayo-ke i-ID number yakhe-ke le number-ke enama-digits awu-13.
And this number that is reflected on the paper corresponded with the one contained on the South African ID, my lord.
Futhi-ke inumber lena-ke i-ID number le eyayikhona-ke kule document anginikeza yona-ke kwakuyi-ID number-ke ekuyiyona le ekhona-ke kumazisi wakhe.
I just want to show you document exhibit YY. Can you identify that exhibit?
Exhibit what?
Exhibit YY. It's a
Oh,
document
YY.
that we handed up yesterday.
Yeah. Okay.
My Lord, indeed, it is the document I referred to, dated 5 May 2020, from the Legal Practice Council.
Ilona-ke le document ebengikhuluma ngalo-ke enale date ewu-5 May 2020 ebuya kuyona-ke i-LPC ekuyona-ke isigubhu lesi-ke esibhekene-ke nabameli.
Can you just put the contents on record?
So it says, so on top, my Lord, that is the address for the National Office, Thornhill Office Park, Building 20, 94 Becker Road, Voma Valley, Midrand. There's a telephone number. On the right-hand side, my Lord, it says Legal Practice Council. And then in bold, it says confirmation of enrollment with the Legal Practice Council, dated 5 May 2020. Then it says to whom it may concern. Please note that as per records held by the Legal Practice Council, full name, Dominic Ntokozo Mjiako, ID, I will not mention his ID number, my Lord, but it's depicted here, is on the practicing role of legal practitioners. And then it's signed by Charity Nzuza, Executive Officer, my Lord.
Ilona-ke phepha-ke lifundeka ngale ndlela-ke kunekheli-ke laphayana le-National Office ese-Thornhill Office Park, ku-Building 2094 Becker Road, Vona Valley, eMidrand, kune-number-ke laphaya kwasekubhalwa-ke i-Legal Practice Council, nalapho-ke kubhaliwe-ke futhi ukuthi-ke isiqinisekiso-ke lesi sokuthi-ke ngempela-ke ukhona-ke kumkhombandlela noma-ke kwi-Legal Practice Council, ibhaliwe idate yange-5 May 2020. Sicela-ke niqapheleke ukuthi nanjengama-record esinawo-ke thina siyi-Legal Practice Council, amagama aphelele uDominic Ntokozo Mjiako, ibhaliwe i-ID number yakhe, ukuthi-ke ukhona-ke kuhla lwabameli lokubizwa ukuthi legal practitioners, kwasayina yena-ke uCharity Nzuza oyi-Executive Officer.
The name of the chairperson of the Gauteng chair of LPC, is it reflected on the document?
Yes, it's so my Lord, there are two names, but where they signed is the one that says Charity Nzuza, who is an executive officer, and then you've got one Johan van Standen, who is the director of Gauteng Provincial Office.
Kunamagama amabili-ke lana, ileli lika-Charity Nzuza, Executive Officer, ila signed khona-ke, bese-ke ku-left-ke kunegama lika-Johan van Staden, u-Director Gauteng Provincial Office.
Thank you. You may proceed.
Yeah, just a minute, my Lord. Just want to check something. Yes, my Lord, yes. So, Mr. Van Stander, because I'm looking at the original that I was given, he also signed. It's just that on the copy, his signature doesn't look visible. But in the one that I was given, so both Mr. Johan Van Standen, the Director of Gauteng Provincial Office, as well as the Executive Officer, signed this document.
Lana-ke kuleli-ke besifunda i-copy-ke lena, i-signature yakhe uJohan van Staden ayibonakala, kodwa-ke lapha kwi-original athi-ke ubrigadier iyona le ayinikiwe, kuyabonakala-ke ukuthi naye uJohan van Staden wasayinda naye.
But you're handing in the original.
Indeed, my Lord.
Yeah, you can have it both ways.
We'll hand up the original as exhibit Y1.
Mr. Minister wants to have a sight of the original.
That's correct.
Yeah, let him show it to you. You don't know Mr. Van Staden? I'm just asking.
He has since left LPC, but under very mysterious circumstances.
You met him?
No, I'm saying he has since left the LPC.
Oh, is that so?
Yes, in circumstances that are
Mysterious. So this is YY1 and YY2, is that not so?
Indeed, in fact, the signature does appear on the copy, just that it was not made darker.
Yeah, fine.
You can just make it darker.
No, but I'm saying these documents, because they are both before the courts, they would have to be YY1 and YY2.
As a court please.
Okay.
Yes, what happened further?
My lord, then I went.
Is it all that took place there in the holding cells?
No. So the confirmation, my lord, I had to leave because I couldn't do it in his presence. I left him. We continued with his consultation. I went outside and made calls. I didn't do it in his presence because I wanted to establish.
Ukuqinisekisa-ke ukuthi ngempela-ke lokhu abenginika kona-ke noma le document anginika yona-ke ukuthi ngempela-ke kuyiqiniso angizange ngikwenzeke lokho phakathi kanye nabo-ke ngamshiya i-consultant ngaphuma-ke mina-ke ukuthi-ke ngiyokwenza-ke ama-calls.
Who did you call?
I called our profiling division, my lord. It's where you profile, especially if you have the ID number, you can profile and analyze a person in terms of his profession, the picture, all manner of things in relation to that ID number.
Ngaya-ke noma-ke ngafonela-ke i-division noma-ke i-division yethu emaphoyiseni ibona-ke abenza lokhu ukuthi ubheka umuntu noma-ke i-profiling uma kuwukuthi i-ID number ikhona-ke lapho bayambheka-ke ukuthi wenza umsebenzi wakhe awenzayo konke nje lokho.
Yes, what happened thereafter?
Yes, my lord, but I can also confirm that at a later stage, obviously when the issue arose insofar as the professional Mr. Mjiaho, I then contacted also the Legal Practice Council, which confirmed that indeed he was an attorney then, he's an advocate now.
Okunye futhi-ke ngakusho ukuthi nayo-ke i-LPC lena-ke ekuyiyona-ke i-Legal Practice Council ngase bafonela-ke nabo ngempela-ke banginikeza-ke isiqiniseko ukuthi waye i-lawyer-ke ngaleso sikhathi kodwa manje-ke ummeli-ke kodwa manje useyi-advocate.
It may also be prudent, my lord, to indicate that on the first appearance in Boksburg, in the lower court, in other words, when this matter appeared, Mr. Mjiaho, because I was there, was on record, and accused number 2 confirmed that he was actually his attorney on the first appearance. It was recorded, documented, it's on national TV. That was placed on record, my lord. And he remained in attendance, I think, for a couple of appearances.
Engakusho futhi ukuthi-ke nkathi-ke bingelela imantshi ihlandla lokuqala-ke eBoksburg uMr Mjiaho wayekhona-ke lapho wakusho futhi ukuthi kumele umsolo wesibili nami-ke ngaqinisekisa-ke lokho ngoba-ke ngangikhona enkantolo wachaza futhi-ke yinto eyayikhona-ke iveziwe-ke naku-TV futhi-ke waqhubekeka-ke nasemuva kwalokho emela.
Secondly, my lord, in King, I also know that at a later stage he was not present on the first appearance, but at a later stage he also appeared on behalf of accused number 2.
Okunye futhi engakusho-ke ukuthi ephukeni yebo wayengekho ngehlandla lokuqala-ke umsolo wesibili ebingelela-ke imantshi kodwa-ke kwathi uma esephinda-ke ebuyela-ke enkantolo emuva kwalokho wabakhona-ke.
Sorry, but the appearance you spoke about, the first appearance, are you referring to the first appearance of this matter in the regional court?
Indeed, my lord, I'm referring to appearance of this matter in Boksburg Magistrate Court.
Okay.
He was there.
He was there.
Yes, he was there in person, and he went on record, my lord.
Engikushoyo ukuthi uma ngehlandla lokuqala-ke laleli icala eBoksburg wayekhona-ke futhi wayichaza-ke ukuthi ukhona umele umsolo wesibili.
My lord, thirdly, he remained on record as and when he was also interacting with the Director of Public Prosecution, because subsequent, which is what I will get to.
Let's not refer to that.
All right. But he was on record, my lord, between the state and himself on behalf of accused number 2.
Kodwa engakusho nje ukuthi wayekhona-ke enkantolo washo-ke futhi ukuthi kumele umsolo wesibili.
Just want to show you Exhibit EE, which the tab version of the charge sheet of the appearance of the accused in Boksburg Court on the 27th of October 2020. You mentioned that you were present in court. According to the proceedings, who was appearing for accused number 2?
So, accused number 2, just a minute, my lord. So, for accused number 2, date, my lord, is 27th of October 2020. That was the day of the first appearance. And on behalf of accused number 2, it is Ntokozo Mjiyako from Mjiyako Attorneys.
Lana kubhaliwe ukuthi ngazo i-27 zika-October 2020 ukuthi ke umsolo wesibili yena ke emelwe umnumzana uNtokozo Mjiyako obuya ke eMjiyako Attorneys.
Yes, and the next appearance.
So, just a minute, my lord. I'm going to read this.
It is fine. The record will speak for itself.
Speak for itself. Yes.
Thank you.
But I can say, my lord, he appeared in numerous times. As I said, there were numerous appearances in that court on behalf of accused number 2.
Kodwa ke ngakusho ke ukuthi ke kwaba amahlandla ke evela ke noma ekhona ke enkantolo emele yena umsolo wesibili.
And it was confirmed by accused number 2 when he was asked by the court if indeed this is his legal representative. When such questions are asked on first appearances, it did confirm, my lord.
Kodwa ke ngakusho futhi ke uma inkantolo ke ibuza ke ngoba izinto ezenziwayo ke lezo uma kuukuthi ke umsolo wakhe ubingelela imanje ihlandla loqala inkantolo iyabuza ke abese iyaqinisekisa ke umsolo wakhe ukuthi ngempela ke umeli wami lona.
Mr. God, please, my lord, regarding communication or confirmation by the LPC, we requested that information or evidence be provisionally allowed. We are in the process of sorting out the admission with the defense.
If the document must be allowed at the moment?
Yes, if there's no admission, we will call someone from the LPC.
Which document are you saying? The one of the legal assistance counsel?
No. The information that the witness received from LPC.
Oh, I see.
He says he contacted the LPC.
Yeah.
And they confirmed that he is an attorney.
Okay. That's not allowed, disputed.
I did not dispute that.
Yeah.
Yes, I did not dispute that.
What is the status concerning official document? I know this is not a statutory document.
Yes.
What is the status of an official document? It would normally not be a problem if it's an SOE or a statutory body. Are you with me?
Yes.
Of a government.
Yes.
If you say the Law Society as constituted qualifies under those criteria.
Well, I don't know, an official document.
Qualifies such a document just by mere production.
Yes.
The contents are admissible. Mr. Minister, any wisdom?
Well, there's also.
I think the issue between accused number 1 and the state is not whether or not Mr. Mjiyako is qualified. I think it's about the mandate that he had to represent him. That's how I understand.
Yeah, that's another story.
Accused number 1 apparently alleges, from what I could gather here, that he never gave Mr. Mjiyako a mandate to represent him.
Okay, fine.
I'm only saying that on the basis of what I'm following.
Okay, correct.
Yes.
Just to come back to the issue that was raised by the court between the difference between an official document and a public document.
That's it.
I think to start with, this document from the LPC is not a public document. But as whether it's an official document, I think the point can be made that it's an official document because it was produced by someone in an official capacity. But be that as it may,
you'll address me.
Yes.
When that
we'll cross the bridge.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, you may continue.
Yes, my lord. So when I went back to inform him that I've confirmed the status and I was about to leave, this is now Mr. Mjako and accused number 2. He then asked, my lord, that first he wanted to know who was the prosecutor in relation to this matter that is before court.
Okay. Ngathi ke uma sengibuyela ke manje ke sengiqedile ke ukwenza uqinisekisa ke buyela manje ke kuyena umsebenzi yakho kanye naye ke umhlolo wesibili mase ngithi ke sengizohamba ke wasefuna ukwazi ke ukuthi babubani noma ubani umshushisi kuleli cala leli eliphambi kwenkantolo njengamanje.
So who wanted to know who the prosecutor was?
The attorney, my lord, Mr. Mjako.
Kwakuwumeli uMr Mjako wayefuna ukwazi.
Yes.
And the reason behind it, my lord,
Please, I think let's not go there.
all right.
It's,
But there was a reason, my lord. But in any event, I told him that it's Advocate Baloyi, but there were 3 teams of advocates at the time. So I told him these are the advocates that are involved in this matter, but we are still under investigation. But I communicated this information to him.
Sasikhona ke izathu kodwa ke bamvimbile ukuthi angaseshe izathu ngamtshela ukuthi uadvocate Baloyi nokuthi kwakunethimba ke lama advocate abashushise ke abathathu ke futhi ke nokuthi icala lalisaphendwa.
Yes, including Advocate Leonard. Then, my lord, what he said to me was one that I'm not so sure now.
Yes, you may not go.
Right.
Let's not go there.
All right.
Yes.
Subsequent to that discussion, my lord, it then transpired that he, the accused 2, in the presence of his attorney, they were willing to go and make.
Yes. Let's not go, Brigadier. I'm sorry about that, my lord. After the discussion there at the holding cells, what happened further?
Arrangements were made, my lord, for the confession to be made in the presence of the magistrate on the 24th of June 2024. In relation to accused number 2 and his attorney.
Kwathemuva kwaleyo nkulumo leyo eyayilapho ke vinjiwe ukuthi angadaluliki ukuthi yini eyakhulunywa lapho kwase uvunyelwana ke ukuthi ke kuzo lumswa ke ukuthi manje ke uzohamba ke umsolo wesibili ayokhuluma ke phambi kwemanje la awayezokhululuka khona ke naye ummeli wakhe ekhona.
This discussion about the confession, when did those discussions take place?
It took place while the issue of the state advocate around that time to say who's dealing with the matters. So it came up around that time.
Lenkulumo yokuthi ke wayizohamba ke manje ayokhuluma ke phambi kwemanje ayovuma ke yaqhamuka ke nalesi isikhathi ngibuzwa ukuthi kwakubani umshushisi ophethe le case noma ekuyena ke icala le yebo ophethe le cala.
What was clear, my lord, what was clear, my lord, there was no indication that there is a distance from, rather that accused 2 was distancing himself from the assertion or the statement he made from, rather he made to Lieutenant Colonel Rapado. So it was flowing from that direction, from what I was told.
Okwacaceleke ngatshelwa ke futhi ukuthi ke umsolo wesibili ke wayengayiqhelanisi ke nalokhu okwakuwayesekushilobo noma kwakusekhulunyiwe ke phambi kwakhe uKolonel Rapado kwakuzoba uqhubeka ke ukusuka kuloko wayesekushilo ukuphambi koKolonel Rapado.
And this was in the presence of Mr. Mjako?
That is correct, my lord. And accused number 2.
Lokhu kwenzeka ekhona uMr Mjako naye umsolo wesibili.
And was there a reason as to why reference was made to making a confession, another confession?
Yes, my lord. It was in relation to the discussion that I could not speak openly, the interactions between the accused, his attorney, and the state. That is the DPP, my lord. Certain proposals were made, which were then later formalized.
Ingabe sesikhona yini kukhona yini kwavezwa okwashiwo ukuthi kwakungani ke manje ke esefuna ukuthi manje agonyuleke ke umsolo yebo nanje wabe sengishilo ukuthi bekhona ke lokho bengifisa ukuthi ngikusho ke kodwa ngavinjwa ke ukuthi ke ngingakhulumi ke kodwa kwakuqhamuka ke leyo nkulumo leyo ke ekhona ke umsolwa ummeli wakhe kanye futhi ke nabaphethe ezokushushisa.
Yes, what happened in favor?
Then, my Lord, on the 24th that morning, the 24th of June 2020, I then phoned, or rather made contact with the Senior Public Prosecutor of Boksburg Magistrate Court, Advocate Henk Strydom. Henk.
Kwase kuthi ngalelo langa ke ekseni ke ngalelo langa lange 24 June 2020 ngase ngikhulumana ke naloyo ophethe ke abeshushisi enkantolo yase Boksburg Advocate Henk
Strydom.
Oh, thanks. Henk Strydom.
The request to him, my Lord, was to assist with the magistrate that can obtain a confession.
Isicelo kuyena ke kwayikulekelela noma ukusiza ke ngokuthola imanje eyayizothi ke ithathe ke istatement ke noma ke ukuvuma.
I further informed him, my Lord, that the accused in question or the suspect will be legally represented.
Qhubeka ke ngamazisa ke ukuthi ke umsolwa lona ke engikhuluma ngaye lana ke umsolwa onommeli.
And can you just perhaps inform the court why do you say that this was going to be legally represented?
It came out, my Lord, in the scope of the arrangement, to say what type of a facility must he arrange. Is the accused coming alone? Is he legally represented? And that came up as I was giving him that information.
Ngathi ufuna ukwazi ke kwakungani ke uthi ke manje umsolwa unommeli kwaqhamuka ke kuleyo nkulumo ke leyo ukuthi ke indawo ekanjani ke ezosetshenziswa nokuthi ke futhi ila ekwavela khona ngamchaza lapho ukuthi umsolwa unaye ummeli.
It also came in the context, my Lord, where the language issue was also discussed to say the suspect in question, what language is he speaking? So it was those formal arrangements where the interpreter would have been required.
Naloko kwaqhamuka ke futhi uma sekukhulunywa ke ngendaba yolimi ke akhulumayo ke ukuthi liphi ulimi azolukhuluma ke umsolwa nala sekuvela khona ngamaqhamuka khona ke udaba lukaTolika.
My Lord, I just want to ascertain whether that Mr. Strydom is also going to be called.
After let him call it. I don't call witnesses. But
As a court, please.
please, you're laughing.
This discussion that you're referring to regarding the facility and the language, with whom was the discussion?
With the advocate Henk Strydom. So my Lord, I can perhaps explain it this way. In order to have the confession taken at the magistrate court, that is a normal process that we follow. Speak to the senior prosecutor or the court prosecutor to make such arrangements. You don't just reach up at the magistrate's office with the suspect.
Ngokumela nalolu daba ke ngoba ummeli ufuna ukwazi ke manje ukuthi lo Mr Henk Strydom uzobizwa yini ukuthi azoqinisekisa lokhu okushiwa uyena ubrigadier ubrigadier uthi ubechaza ke uma ukuthi ukoniluka lokhu kuzohamba kuyokwenziwa ke kwinkantolo kamanje awukwazi nje ukuthi uvele uqhamukeke lapho ukhuluma ke nophethe abeshushisi kuba uyena ke owenza ke lawo malungiselelo lawo ke ukuthi kutholakale ke imanje leyo.
Would it be correct to sum up by saying appropriate arrangements were made for the confession?
That is correct, my Lord.
Okufanelekile ke kwenziwa ke ukuthi ke leso statement leso ke siyothatha noma siyokwenziwa.
Yes, what happened further?
The arrangement in question, my Lord, then confirmed that accused two should be brought to Boksburg no later than 1400 hours of that specific day.
Uma seqediwe ke sesizwene ke kwase kuvunyelwana ke ukuthi ke umsolwa ke wesibili ke akalethwe ke lapho enkantolo yase Boksburg kungabi later ke kuno 2 emini.
My Lord, I then instructed Sergeant Mufane to make the necessary arrangements insofar as booking out accused number 2 and ensure that he is then transported to Boksburg Magistrate Court.
Ngase ngikhuluma ke ngitshela yena ke uSergeant Mufane ukuthi ke akenzeke isiqiniseko sokuthi ke uzoyokhipha ke umsolwa wesibili ke ase emhambisa ke emsenkantolo yase Boksburg.
I further informed him, my Lord, that there will be an attorney there by the name of Mr. Liyaqhuba, who is the legal representative of accused number 2.
Ngase ngimtshela futhi ukuthi kuzoba nommeli ke ozoba khona lapha yana ke Liyaqhuba omele yena umsolwa wesibili.
My Lord, I do know that such instruction was carried on, and then later the confession statement was indeed taken by Magistrate Kronye.
Ngiyazi-ke ukuthi ngempela-ke wakwenza-ke lokho yena-ke uMokhane nokuthi futhi-ke istatement leso-ke sathathwa-ke uyena uMagistrate uCronier.
And then later given to me.
Kwase sikuthi kamuva-ke sanikezwa mina.
Just want to show you an exhibit, JJ.
My Lord, what I also noted in that document when it was brought to my attention is that the attorney that was depicted in that document by the magistrate was the same attorney that I referred to in terms of the name and the details that I referred to earlier on the previous day, the 23rd of June 2020.
Okunye futhi-ke ngaqaphela-ke lapho-ke ukuthi-ke ummeli loyana-ke obhaliwe-ke kule document lena-ke engitshengiswayo-ke manje ukuthi kwakuyena-ke lo ebengimshilo-ke noma bengikhuluma ngaye kulanga elindlule lange-23 zikaJune 2020.
Can you identify exhibit JJ?
Yes, my Lord, it is indeed the document that was brought to me, that was completed by Magistrate Cronier, including the copies of the appointment cards of the relevant police officers, as well as the annexure statement that is attached from accused number 2.
Impela-ke ilona-ke le document leli-ke elathwasa uyena-ke uMagistrate Cronier kanye futhi nama-copy-ke atshengisa-ke noma-ke kuwama-copy ama-appointment certificates awo amaphoyisa ayekhona lapho kanye futhi-ke naso-ke istatement lesi.
And it's also, my Lord, dated 24 June 2020, and the name of the attorney, Mr. Dominic Ntokozo Mjiyako, is also depicted in that.
Bhaliwe-ke i-date 24 June 2020 igama lommeli uDominic Ntokozo Mjiyako likhona la.
Yes, then what happened further?
My Lord, after the document came to my attention, as I said, it was just the interaction with this attorney on behalf of accused with the state.
Emuva kokuthi-ke
Yes,
because
please,
there was
let's
a
not go there.
emuva kokuthi-ke le document sengiyitholile-ke kwabali lapho-na-ke manje sekuhlangana-ke ummeli kanye futhi-ke nomshushisi-ke kukhona-ke imiphumela eyabakhona-ke kodwa ngazi lokuthi ngiyayichaza kanjani-ke.
And what happened further regarding the matter?
Which that is now the matter before this court.
Yes.
We carried on, my Lord, with investigations as well to try and collaborate to see if what is contained in both confessions, in other words, the details contained in Lieutenant Colonel Rafael's statement taken by him, as well as the one made by Magistrate Cronier. So I did an extensive investigation to collaborate those facts, and I must indicate, my Lord, that I think almost 99.9% it was collaborated.
Okwenzeka-ke manje-ke kwaba kumina-ke ukuthi manje ngihlanganise istatement lesi-ke umsola owesibili awesenzile kuyena uKhenela Rafat bese ngihlanganisa manje nalesi-ke asenze kuyena-ke kuyona imantshi Magistrate Cronier. Ngiqhubeka-ke ngophenyo-ke manje ngibheka ukuthi kukhona yini la okuhlangana khona-ke ngasho-ke nesiqinisekiso ngisho futhi ukuthi u-99.9% ngaba-ke nesiqiniseko ukuthi ngempela-ke kuyahlangana.
We'll get to that point at the later stage. You mentioned that the docket was submitted to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution at some stage.
Correct, my Lord.
Yebo ngishilo ukuthi idokodo laselidluliselwa-ke ku-ofisi labeshishisi
with the representations of the summary of the investigation, my Lord, evidence collected was submitted together with the docket.
Idokodo langahambi lodwa-ke kanye-ke nokuchaza-ke nje ubese usho ukuthi yini-ke eyenziwe kuphenywe nako konke nje lokho okwakusekukhona-ke sinako-ke kwakhapha idokodo.
At which stage did you start engaging with the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions?
My Lord, I think at that time when in June we were already in interaction, hence I was in a position to communicate the three names of the legal team from the DPPs to Advocate Mjiyako. So it would have been way back because it was still we're still at the early stage of the investigations. So but around June 2020 we were already in interaction.
Ngathi ke ngoJuni loyo ke kuyena ke u2020 sase sikhulumisana ke nehhovisi lalabo abashushisayo ke ingakho ke ngakhona ukuthi umji yakho ngimnikeze ke amagama alabo bathathu ngangithi yibo bakuyibona ke ithimba elishushisayo ke icala leli ngoba ke uphenyo lethu lalisaqala ke ngaleso sikhathi leso.
And you have already referred to the fact that the Director of Public Prosecutions took a decision at some point, more or less. When was that?
It was around October, my lord, because as soon as the indictment, the decision was taken to indict, I didn't waste time, just put in an application for the issuing of the warrants, which were then duly authorized. We executed on the 26th of October 2020, and they made their first appearance on the 27th of October 2020.
Umshushu siyabuza ukuthi ubusushilo ke ngaphambili ukuthi ke ngempela ke abashushisayo ke bathatha isinqumo ngabe kwakunini ke ngathi ke isinqumo sathathwa ke ngayo October ngase mina ke ngeza isicelo ke saloku kubizwa ngokuthi ke ama-warrant la thola khona ke incwadi eshoyo ukuthi ke umuntu angaboshwa noma abantu bangaboshwa ngempela ke yakhishwa ke ngazo i-26 October base ke babengilela imantshi nge-27 October 2020.
And just for record purposes, which office of the Director of Public Prosecutions did you liaise with?
So that will be the one responsible for the North Gauteng High Court. So that is the DPP in Zethu in Pretoria.
Ihhovisi ke lalabo abaphethe noma ke bashushisayo ke engikhuluma ngalo engaya kona ngakhulumisana nabo ileli ke elila eChethu khona la ePitoli.
Now, before the accused were charged or when they were charged, were there any warning statements taken from them?
Yes, there were warning statements taken from 1 to 4. Accused 5 only gave his particulars when the formalities were supposed to be done. He didn't want to do it, so he walked away.
Ngasho ke ukuthi ke ama warning statement lokho kubizwa ukuthi ama warning statement ke kubona ke abasola yebo impela atholakala ke kwakusuka ku accused 1 uyofika ke ku accused number 4 u accused number 5 yena ke wanqaba ke uma sekufanele ukuthi ke kwenziwe ke lokho.
So good, please, Manot, we're just about to start a new topic. It's nearly close to the normal court sitting time. Can we then adjourn until tomorrow?
Okay. You're available tomorrow?
Yes, I am.
Okay, we adjourn until tomorrow.
So we're not